The first time I saw Milo, he was pressed into the far corner of a plastic crate. He was so small, just a trembling ball of ginger fur hiding under a blue towel. The shelter had called him the orphan. No mother, no siblings, no name. They found him alone, cold and starving, small enough to fit in the palm of one hand. Someone had spotted him crying by the side of a busy road, just 3 weeks old. No warm mother to curl into, no litter to keep him safe, only the cold and the noise. By the time the shelter reached him, he had almost given up entirely. And when I looked into that crate, something in my chest just broke. Because this tiny kitten had already learned something no baby should ever learn. He had learned that the world was not a safe place. I reached in slowly, very, very slowly, and he flinched away from my hand like it might hurt him. "It's okay," I whispered. "You're safe now." But he didn't believe me, not yet. How could he? Everyone he had ever known had already let him down. Little did I know, this frightened little kitten was about to change my whole life. I brought him home that same afternoon. I set the crate down in a quiet room, opened the door, and stepped back. I didn't reach for him, I didn't rush him, I just waited. I sat on the floor a few feet away and let him decide. And Milo, he stayed inside that crate for hours. He watched me with wide, worried eyes. Every time I moved, he tensed. Every small sound made him freeze. So I did the only thing I could do. I stayed. I sat on that cold floor until my legs went completely numb. I read out loud just so he could hear a soft, gentle voice. I left tiny bits of food near the door and quietly backed away. And slowly, so slowly, his little nose would peek out, just a sniff. Then it would vanish right back into the shadows. The first night, he didn't eat at all. The second night, he ate 3 small bites while I pretended not to watch. I remember whispering, "Good boy, you're doing so good." It doesn't sound like much, 3 little bites of food, but for a kitten who had given up on people, it was everything. Days passed exactly like this. Patience, silence, tiny steps forward. I stopped making plans, I stopped rushing anywhere. My whole world shrank down to that quiet room. Some nights I fell asleep right there on the floor, just so he wouldn't feel alone. I mixed water into his food, terrified he wasn't drinking enough. I'd sit there, watching him eat like some nervous first-time parent. And then, on the 5th day, something shifted. I was lying on the floor, half asleep, when I felt it. A tiny weight, a warm little body pressing into me. Milo had crawled out of the crate and curled up against my side. I didn't move, I barely even breathed. I just lay there, feeling that fragile little heartbeat beside mine. And in that moment, I finally understood something. He wasn't learning to trust me because I fed him. He was learning to trust me because I stayed. Now, I have to pause for just 1 second. If you're still not subscribed, honestly, that kind of breaks my heart. Stories like Milo's are the exact reason we do this. Just tap that button. Okay, back to Milo. After that night, everything began to change. This scared little kitten who hid in the corner slowly started to disappear, and a brand new Milo started to appear in his place. First came the purring, soft at first, then loud, rumbling, and constant. Then came the play. He found his own tail one day and completely lost his mind. He chased shadows on the wall, he pounced on my shoelaces, he tumbled clean off the couch and got right back up like nothing happened. It was like watching a kitten slowly remember how to be a kitten. And then, one very ordinary morning, he did the thing I never taught him, the thing that became his signature move. I was standing in the kitchen, half awake, making coffee, when suddenly I felt tiny claws climbing up my back. Milo scrambled straight up and perched himself right on my shoulder, like a tiny ginger parrot, like he suddenly owned the entire house. I froze, laughing, absolutely terrified he was gonna fall, but he didn't fall. He just sat there, tall and proud, surveying his kingdom. And from that day forward, it became our little thing. He rode on my shoulder while I cooked, while I cleaned, while I answered the door. Total strangers would stop and stare, completely amazed by this fearless little cat. And I would just smile, because they didn't know, they didn't see who he used to be. Moments like these remind you why some stories deserve to be shared. Every time I walked around the house, he would wait for the perfect moment. Then, without any warning, he'd leap right onto my shoulder. every single time, like a furry little co-pilot who came everywhere with me. The kitten who once flinched at my hand now refused to leave it. But the real proof of how far he had come, that came a little later. One evening, I got sick, really sick, a bad, aching fever. I was curled up on the couch, shivering under a heavy blanket, feeling awful. And Milo, he simply would not leave. He climbed onto my chest, pressed his little body against me, and stayed. He purred for hours, that deep, steady, healing kind of rumble. He watched over me all night, like a tiny nurse who refused to clock out. Every time I stirred, I felt his little paw reach out and touch my arm, as if to say, "I'm still here." And through the fog of that fever, I remember thinking one thing. This is the same kitten who once wouldn't let me touch him, the same kitten who trusted absolutely no one in this world. And now, here he was, refusing to leave my side for even a second. There is honestly so much more to Milo's journey than I could ever fit here. People ask me all the time why I fostered him in the first place, why I sat on that cold, hard floor for days on end, why I didn't just give up when he wouldn't eat, wouldn't move, wouldn't trust. And the truth is actually really simple, because somebody once needed to stay for me, so I stayed for him. Milo is almost 2 years old now. He's grown into this big, fluffy, ridiculously confident cat. He acts like he was never afraid of anything in his entire life. But I remember the crate, the corner, that first flinch. I remember the kitten that nobody wanted, the one who was almost left behind. And every morning when he climbs onto my shoulder and rubs his face against mine, I'm reminded of something. The ones nobody wanted are sometimes exactly the ones we needed all along. If you're ever thinking about adopting, please don't overlook the scared ones, the ones hiding in the very back of the crate, the ones who just won't come out. They aren't broken, they're not damaged, they're simply waiting for someone to stay. Give them patience, give them time, give them the right kind of love, and one day they will hand you their whole heart in return. Because trust isn't something you can ever force out of someone. It's something you slowly earn, one quiet moment, one gentle voice, one patient day at a time. Sometimes love isn't loud. It doesn't come running to the door. Sometimes love just waits, quietly, in the corner of a crate, hoping against all hope that someone will stay long enough to finally see it. So tell me, would you have taken a chance on this scared little kitten? Or would you have walked right past that crate? Let me know in the comments.